having all this innovative technology in your school is really fantastic, but how do you keep those pupils safe while they're online? We spoke to some key security providers to find out a little bit more.
Hello, I'm Jim Black, the Marketing Director at Vox. I think one of the biggest issues that we hear our customers talking about is anonymous proxies, where students can use those sites to bypass any web filtering that's been put in place. But of course, once these the students are on these sites, they can then surf the whole internet until the IT manager manages to find out they're on the site and then block it. The biggest problem really is that hundreds of these new proxy sites being created every day. As soon as the IT manager closes access down to these sites, the students have found the next site. In fact, it's so easy now that many of the students are creating proxy servers in their own bedrooms and then actually accessing these back at home or putting them on a web hosting site. You can download all the tools from the internet for free. There are videos on YouTube that show you how to build them. So that's one of the biggest problems that we see.
I think the biggest threat at the moment to most schools is the perception that their existing e-safety technologies that may have deployed 2 or 3 years ago are necessarily going to address the systems that are facing them today. Not through the capability of the technology, not from knocking competition at all. It's more about the fact that if the technology was introduced through the technical team, they will have picked it for the right reasons, but from a pastoral perspective it may not be accepted or be utilised for the outputs that are really necessary to support your safety. So the threat is that the technology may have come into the school and be sat there now in the corner. There may have been a change of staff, there may have been change of strategy at senior leadership that doesn't necessarily acknowledge what e-safety provisions they've got in place, and therefore what in effect was seen as a useful tool at the beginning has actually almost become a black box recorder to show what somebody hasn't done if they have forgotten to keep up to date with it. So there's some of the challenges. I think also technology-wise is that the children now are becoming very resourceful, as they always have been, but they're exploring new areas at a greater pace than maybe staff members can keep up with. And they've got to take account of the fact that those technologies are natural to youngsters, but are sometimes a little bit more wary for older individuals to get to grips with. And I mean older, anybody older than 21 these days.
Absolutely, I was going to say, I think
that's the challenge.
Most people there fall into that, don't we?
Absolutely. It's the technical staff, you know, they're really enthused and they want to get going, but it's sometimes forgetting that these things are so innovative and they're changing so fast. Right, well I'm Colin McKeown, one of the directors from eSafe Education, and what we are is an e-safety organisation who have created solutions for helping schools to manage e-safety and embrace Web 2.
Yeah, I'm Brian Plum. I'm the director of B Digital, owners of www.b-it.co.uk. There's obviously a lot of challenges facing schools when using social networking sites, and this is heightened a lot by certainly by the media and obviously what's going on, and people want to make sure that their pupils and their staff as well are kept as safe as possible. A lot of schools have access to a virtual learning environment, and many of these schools use their BLE to create their own social networking website. Obviously the benefit of this is it can be locked to the school, so you can be rest assured that your pupils are as safe as they possibly can be and can only really communicate with other pupils in that school and their teachers. Obviously there are benefits to communicating with pupils and teachers outside of this and to other schools as well, and there are a number of websites that allow pupils and schools to set these kind of systems up. Facebook is one of those things where a lot of teachers talk about using it, and again it does have benefits because it allows pupils to talk to other pupils and other teachers right across the world, but again the number one priority here has to be the safety, the e-safety of the pupils involved. One of my biggest advices would be, as a teacher, have one social networking site or tool that is for schools, that is for work, and one is personal. The last thing that you want is any of your pupils seeing any strange or dodgy pictures of you or your colleagues over at a pub or a bar or on that stag do. So I'd definitely say have one that's personal, have one that's for work.
Perfect.
We as adults have to accept that social networking is exactly what the kids do. They're out of the school, they're on their phone, they get home, they're straight on their Facebook account. That's modern life. We have to make sure that they're aware of what they should and shouldn't do. That's our responsibility, and that's what we do.
But how can schools encourage engagement whilst keeping learners and staff safe?
I think encouraging engagement is actually allowing them to do it and explaining, and a lot of schools are doing this now, and we encourage it as much as possible. We're working with Vector at the moment. We've written a 57-page white paper on the legal responsibilities of both local authorities and establishments and people, like head teachers and governments, their legal duties. They think at the moment that they can just sort of, oh, it's okay. It's not okay. You do have legal things, yeah. So encouraging the children to use it and then monitoring them, and when they start getting into risky areas, pointing out why that's risky, and say, well, hang on a minute, do you actually know who that person, have you met that person face to face? No. So what do they look like then? Here's their photo. Oh, really? Are you sure? So it's practical experience. That is the way that we all learn. Practical experience. So we can use whatever examples we like. When I'm teaching about e-safety with children, I just say to them, when you're putting stuff up about yourself on Facebook, just think, would you like your details on a 200-foot by 50-foot board in Leicester Square?
Yeah.
Billboard? Would you like all those details up there? Oh, no. What? But you posted that. Do you realise that there's only 100,000 people might see that? Okay. There are 100 million or a billion might see that you put up on Facebook. And by the way, when you go for a job, I'm an employer, I will look you up. And if I see you draped over the car bonnet, what am I going to think? So these are the things. It's all about, yes, open it up, teach them. We have to change the way that we think. We have to change the way that we teach.
I hope you've enjoyed this special BET podcast. I've been Matthew Jane. If you want to find out more, you can look at our website at www.edexec.co.uk or follow us on Twitter at EdExec. Bye.